Champions League and Europa League quarter-final picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at Underdog Fantasy, promo code PLGP to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Get up to $750 in cashback rewards each month when you sign up at edgeboost.bet. Use the promo code SGPN. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Sunday, April the 6th. We are here to wrap up the Premier League weekend, which finished a few hours ago. And then we've got two European competitions that reached the quarter-final stage. We've got the Champions League and we've got the Europa League. So we've had a look at the majority of the games. I think I've left out a Bodo Glimt because I don't know what one is, but I've got everything else in the hutch. Joining me from somewhere in Nottinghamshire, not quite as red tonight, a couple of shades.
I am a little bit odd.
Oh, are you? Oh, it's just the lighting. Mr. Barry Pedaluna. Barry, have you found yourself a hat yet?
Yes, I was wearing a cap this afternoon. I went out this morning without a cap, so I am feeling a little bit warm because it's been sunny today. But went out for a walk this afternoon and did take a cap just to be on the safe side.
And for a walk?
I mean, for a walk. Just thought we'd go for a walk. Family walk today out in the countryside.
Fuck that.
It was all right. I saw a bit of action, actually. Like, I saw nature in action today. It was quite gruesome, to be honest.
What was it?
Yeah, I saw. So walking along a trail near the canal, and out comes this little fluffy bunny rabbit, just plodding along, happy as anything. And then out of nowhere, this ferret comes flying out of the bushes and starts chasing it around. And I was like, so I'm watching this ferret and the little bunny rabbit running around the place, looking like they're having lots of fun, just like, a bit playful and that. And then next thing, the ferret gets a hold of it, and there's nothing playful about it at all. The ferret absolutely destroyed this rabbit, that was the end of the rabbit. So yeah, nature taking its course in it, food chain and all that.
Bloody hell!
I didn't even know ferrets
were around in the
world. Well, I don't know. I think that's the first time I've seen a ferret out wild, like, and certainly the first time I've seen one taking down a rabbit, like.
Do they have ferrets in America or Canada? We've got people in the chat here. Joe, John, everyone, Courtney, tell us about if you have ferrets in it. I don't think I've ever heard of the Great American Ferret. I bet they're massive in America, Baz. I bet they're like a small horse. I bet you could ride one. Well, excellent story, Barry. That is a rock solid start of the show.
I did get it on video as well, so I might share it on Twitter later on. I felt like a bit of a bad man later on. Like, when you get those people who film people being bullied and that, and you think, what a cunt.
All right, yeah.
Stop that happening. And the kid said to me, what? So you've just videoed that instead of like, why didn't you throw something at the ferret to stop it killing the rabbit? And I was like, it's just nature, innit? Just got to let it happen.
Well, you can't intervene, like.
You can't interfere with nature.
You can't intervene. Joe saying Fulham are the ferret and Liverpool are the rabbits, which makes me laugh so far. All right, so they have them as pets in America, apparently, according to Rick and Courtney had one. Yeah, you do see people walking them. I didn't know if that was a northern thing. I didn't want to admit that because I didn't want all the southerners to take the piss even more.
I Googled it earlier on because I thought it was a ferret, but I couldn't be 100% sure. So I did Google, would a ferret attack a rabbit? And Google was very clear about the fact you would not want to keep a ferret and a rabbit together because the ferret would definitely attack the rabbit. So, yeah, there you go. Bit of ferret fun.
Okay. I've got a little bit of story for my weekend as well, but let's welcome everyone who's joined us. Callum was first in. Callum, how you doing? Joe, Andy Williams. Who else we got? Smudgers here. Lee Smith. Burnley, top of the league. Go on, have a little bit of that.
Can
Then
we
we've got
remember
loads of
when we?
people getting up here who pulled
Can you
double duty
remember,
because I've
Malcolm?
just finished the MM. What?
Can you remember when we'd done our? We were struggling for picks. Struggling for picks the other week, weren't we? And I put Burnley out for top 2, 6-5. And I said how ridiculous it was that Leeds were 1-20 to be promoted.
That's true.
I said if you could lay that, you'd be looking all right at the moment. Certainly get a bit of value.
Very good. Very, very good. Yeah. Our double duty is John Cullifay. He was in the MLB show. Michael was in the MLB show earlier on. So we got lots of people. Slick Rick, Courtney, everybody's here. Welcome along very much. I had some exciting news on Friday, Barry. I had an exciting day out, which I can only reveal part of, but I told you the story. I got a booking on Wednesday for the casino. It was a bit of a drive. My mate said, can you go to Nantwich in Cheshire? Oh, fuck's sake. It's like 3 hours away. But job's a job, you know me, man of the people, working class hero, Pride of Britain Award, etc. So I said I would go. My agent then said, oh, mate, it's a right pain in the arse. They've asked you to sign this NDA, obviously a non-disclosure agreement. So I opened it, and it had all this shit on about celebrity not taking pictures or asking for autographs or leaving all the celebrities alone and stuff. And Barry, as you well know, it was a very well-known, high-caliber Premier League footballer, of all things, and international footballer, young star. I'm not going to go into any further details. You know me, Barry. I've signed my NDA. I'm a law-abiding citizen. So I got quite excited. So I drove down there on Friday, pulled up outside this obviously very posh gaff, and then went round the back to set me stuff up. And sure enough, there was this Premier League and international football star sitting fishing off his back porch into his own lake. It was just a little bit mad. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was sweating me tits off, carrying me roulette wheel and stuff up the stairs, just as this lad was sitting pulling carp out of his lake. It was like a patio thing, patio doors, bit of a decking, and then just sitting fishing in the lake as I'm setting the roulette table and the blackjack table up. So no other stars arrived. I was hoping the entire squad was going to turn up. Thought it was like some sort of squad party, but it was just a little family thing. There was about a dozen of them, few parents, few kids. Really nice, had fun. I did not receive a large cash tip, which I was disappointed in, Barry. I received a can of lemonade for the drive home. So that was it. That was my weekend story, but it was good fun. I enjoyed it. Just a shame I can't tell you who it was, but you and Andy know. You can have a guess. Andy might give you a thumbs up if you guess correctly. So that was that. Picks wise, Saturday was okay for me. 3-2, little bit of profit. Had some good picks. The West Ham shots was fucking an absolute benefit. Under 29.5 shots, there was 3 in the first half an hour. At no point were you not going to win. It finished on like 16 or something. It was the easiest money you've ever made. Wolves was a great play. Loved Wolves at 7-5. So, yeah, did all right. And then today, I just absolutely fell off a cliff. And I think what happened was I handicapped Tottenham and Chelsea like 5 minutes after watching their game. And it agitated me, that game on Thursday. I thought it was dog shit. So I handicapped that game in a rage and then was miles away. The Liverpool-Fulham game, I feel like in hindsight, Fulham was a gettable pick, wasn't it? Because Liverpool have been shite ever since Newcastle dominated them in the AFL Cup final, winning the trophy and becoming England's most decorated football club since March 2025. I felt like I could have got to Fulham, but I didn't. And then the Manchester derby was absolute bollocks. It was complete bollocks. What a waste of everyone's time that was. Luckily, Barry, you picked all the winners, so I didn't have to, because you swept yesterday. And I think you did all right today. I still got my lock. I've got some stuff in play because Newcastle don't go till tomorrow night. So I've got my lock and my goal scorer in play. So I'm not completely out the woods, but you did the business for everyone, Baz, didn't you?
Yeah. Although some people didn't notice, Lee flagged up tonight. There was a comment on our Spotify page from Rob who said, rough week for the picks. And I'm thinking, you must be talking about Mal.
Really?
I hit 5 out of 5 yesterday. I don't know what more I was supposed to do.
Did you reply to Rob?
No, not yet. I haven't. As I say,
Reply to him.
he clearly followed. He clearly followed you on all the wrong ones.
Well,
but yeah,
bad, Baz. I wasn't like miles away. I was up on Saturday.
It was just all the ones you
Fucking
laughed
Rob.
at me for, wasn't it? You laughed at me for taking Villa. You absolutely hated my pick of goals in the Brighton game. You laughed at me for taking Spurs to score 3. That was a banker, wasn't it? 96th minute penalty to clinch that one.
I would laugh at you if you picked them all again. They're all lucky picks. And it doesn't matter though. You're fine. Luck's a huge part of it, Baz.
But yeah, 5-5 yesterday. The one I loved was that Bournemouth pick, where I couldn't quite get to picking Bournemouth as a winner. But I said if they score a goal in the first half, that might be enough. They might win the first half 1-0 and then go and lose the second half. And sure enough, they won a half. They won the first half 1-0 and then lost the second one 2-1. So, I love that one. But yeah, I had Villa, took the goals in the Ipswich game, took the goals in the Brighton game, and faded Arsenal. Thought Everton double chance was worth a go. Today, as I say, I got Liverpool wrong, and I mean, you're saying you could have got Fulham. That was the one Rob didn't like. He said he couldn't believe we both took Liverpool, which is fair enough. We both got it wrong.
I say, in hindsight, it feels like the sort of pick I would make Fulham. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because I didn't think Liverpool had played well for a few games, so I do feel like it's a sort of pick I could have made and somehow didn't.
I don't think it's just a few games that they haven't played well, but they've still been doing enough to win games, which is why I stuck with them. Because they'd still only lost one game until today. They hadn't lost a game for 6 months or 5 months or something in the league. So, yeah, I mean, I wasn't close to picking Fulham, and I was wrong. It was a good game. Fulham played well. Thankfully, we got a few goals in that one. Because, as you say, the later televised one was absolute dog shit. So I got that wrong. Got the City game wrong. But I did have the Spurs goals and Chelsea unders. Chelsea game under 2.5 goals. Couldn't have been any easier. So 7-2 for me. I must try better. Apparently that's not good enough. Might finish on
8-1 from you next week.
Might finish on 8-2 by tomorrow, but we'll see. Christ, that Man U game you've already mentioned. Neither of them wanted to win, did they? Nobody was trying. It was, and I was pleased they got called out by the likes of Gary Neville, basically saying this isn't what a Manchester derby's meant to be. Like nobody's trying. They've just conspired to play out a 0-0 draw. Absolutely bizarre.
It was a bit of a funny weekend. I've seen quite a lot of social media tonight, so to just be moaning the entire state of the Premier League. But maybe it's just because it was a bit of a shit weekend. Because you've got Liverpool who were away and gone at the top. You've got the 3 teams at the bottom who were away and gone. And it's the 3 promoted teams again. Southampton have been relegated today. So they've gone down bloodlessly. You've got those teams in the middle that are getting on my tits that are just going to turn up and win or lose. And I know as daft as it sounds, but there appears to be no consequences. We're just going to do what we want. We might win and we might lose. We'll win this week, we'll lose next week. Palace beat Brighton, therefore Brighton lost. They'll go and win. Fulham get a win. Bournemouth just up and down like a bride's nightie. I just didn't. It was a horrible weekend. It was a good weekend for Newcastle because Manchester City and Chelsea and Nottingham Forest all drop points. I mean, the Liverpool lose top of the league, and not a single one of the top 5 can be asked fucking winning. Arsenal can't be bothered to win. They're dog shit. Forest, I've got Forest written down as one of my eye catchers, actually. We'll get them in a minute. They got beat. Chelsea couldn't be asked to win, and Man City couldn't be asked to try and win. So I don't know what we're trying to achieve here. It was just a bit of a rough week. Going back to Forest, I thought they played really well. They found themselves 2-0 down, but after that, I thought they put a really rock solid performance together. And all that told me was a lot of what Forest have done this year hasn't been fluky. They could have buckled yesterday, and they didn't. They got back. They were very unlucky, really, not to get a point in the end. Matthews messaged me immediately saying, "Shit, Barry got one right," because he loves it when you fade Forest, but he wasn't happy about that. And I think that was about it from the weekend, really. That's my takeaway. Obviously, the whole thing with Newcastle not playing at the Monday night sort of affects our weekend personally, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think Newcastle can go and hammer them tomorrow, and it's a huge opportunity. Newcastle are not go and win tomorrow, so we'll see. But yeah, that was my wrap up of the weekend, Baz.
Yeah, your signal's a bit, or someone's signal's a little bit dodgy. We're a little bit stuttery there.
I
so
think
if you
just
have got,
disappeared and then came back. I don't know why.
yeah,
The laptop sounds like it's going to take off. I don't know what's wrong with it.
I was going to say, if you've got anything else to open up, make sure you shut it down, and might help. Liverpool game, should Fulham have had a penalty in the first half? Did you watch it?
I saw it. I couldn't be asked to decide. I'm not bothered.
Oh, that's just ridiculous.
Is that a good answer?
For the explanation to say it was just a coming together. How many times have Newcastle conceded a penalty to Liverpool for a coming together between an attacker and a fucking keeper? Like, it's a coming together that gets them a penalty every week. Salah's made a living out of it. Kane made a living out of it, making that happen every week. It was ridiculous. I don't know how they didn't get a penalty. And how Van Dijk gets away with just throwing his elbows at people every week as well. That seems to be another thing he can just get away with. But yeah, no other observations because they got beat anyway. Who gives a fuck?
Did you think the Everton penalty was a penalty?
Against Stonewall penalty, yeah.
Yeah, right, like, correct, Barry. Yeah, I'm glad we can all agree on that.
Listen, if it's ever a conspiracy for Arsenal, then obviously I'm going to disagree with that. Yeah, it was a soft one, wasn't it? Let's be honest, but who gives a fuck?
Fucking hell, score more than once if you want to win. Honestly, boring. This first little promo, Barry, it starts with the words, "Hello, friends." Am I meant to read that out? That's a bit weird, isn't it? Who's wrote that? I'm going to do it.
Just
Hello,
do it.
friends. Augusta is, well, that's you, Barry, your friends. Augusta is right around the corner. SGPN is back with Splash Sports for a big contest up to 30k in prizes and only $25 entry fee. Get in today, splashsports.com/SGPN. That's splashsports.com/SGPN. Tune into the Golf Gambling Podcast, the Steffi Small Show, and Bottom Line Bombs for all your Masters picks. Edge Boost has partnered with SGPN. It's the premier Visa debit card for bettors. Edge Boost card allows you to avoid your card getting declined at any of your favourite gambling spots. You can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards. It's FDIC insured. There's no credit checks. It's completely free. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag. You can bet every sport. All the Crown College basketballs are on there. Loads of locations, fast payouts using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Right, we can make some picks. I have not opened
before we make some picks.
365 page. Sorry, Barry.
Before we make some picks, I just want to be very clear that I have no Europa League picks whatsoever.
Have you not?
At no point have we discussed making any picks for the Europa League. The title of the episode is very clearly called Champions League Picks. So no, I haven't bothered with any of that shite.
No, right. If you're in the live, you notice I've just gone dark here because I'm going to read the fucking message I sent you. Hang on. Da-da-da. I might not have sent it. Hang on.
No, you did.
When did we decide we were doing this show? I definitely told you we were doing Europa League. I've done them all.
Well, that's good.
I'm getting half your fee for this.
You can fire them out. I'm not fucking touching that shite.
Well, I definitely did it. No, I said I did, and I said we'll do the British ones. What I haven't done is Lazio and Bodo Glimt, but because there was British teams and the other three ties, I thought we'd do them. Right, okay then. Well, Rob on Spotify, you'll get my picks for the Europa League, and you won't have to bother with Barry's. Champions League will start with on Tuesday, 8 o'clock kickoff, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Arsenal take on Real Madrid. Arsenal 11-8 plus 137. The draw's 9-4. Real Madrid are 21-10 plus 210. To qualify, Arsenal are 11-8 plus 137. Real Madrid are 1-2 minus 200. Arsenal, this has got to be a WTF, hasn't it, Baz? Surely the wrong team are favourite here. Is that not correct?
I think so, yes.
So, you are.
I would suggest so, yeah.
So in the last 6 Premier League games, Arsenal have failed to beat Everton, Manchester United, Nottingham Forest, and West Ham. And you're asking me to bet them as a favourite here against Real Madrid. I just couldn't do it, Baz. And I'm not just having a go at Arsenal. I'm having a go at you, Joe. It's an absolute WTF. Now, Madrid did take their eye off the ball at the weekend. They lost 2-1 at home to Valencia. And their away form in La Liga isn't great. Like, they've won 7 of 15. They're not winning loads, so it doesn't really want to tempt you into backing them there either. In the Champions League, they've won 8 and lost 4. Really quite inconsistent. I thought they were slightly fortunate to go through on penalties against Atletico. Part of the handicap is we do like how lucky they are in the Champions League. It's just a thing. You can't ignore it. You might as well factor it in. The key here is, for me, the Arsenal defensive injuries, Baz. Who's Gabriel or Saliba? Gabriel's missing, isn't he?
Down, yeah.
So Kiwior sitting in there at the back. I just don't get it. The Madrid team total is virtually the same price as Madrid to win the game. If they're 21-10 to win the game, they're 2-1 to score twice. And that's what I think is going to happen here. I think Madrid have got it in them to score 2 goals. Arsenal just not doing it for me. We saw 2-legged game against Newcastle in that cup semi-final, and they conceded twice in both of those games. So Madrid can go and do it. Mbappe, Vinny, etc. I'm going to take the Real Madrid team total over 1.5 is 2-1.
I don't mind that pick. But like you, I steered straight towards Real Madrid as well. Too many draws has been the problem for Arsenal lately, hasn't it? 4 of the last 7 have ended in a draw. And they've had 11 draws from 31 league games already this season. I mean, if I was Arsenal, I'd probably settle for a draw here, keep the tie alive going into the second leg. As you've mentioned, Madrid haven't been flying on all cylinders. They've won just 4 of their last 8 games now. And the 4 wins all came by a single goal, so they're not brushing teams aside with any kind of ease. Madrid definitely had the harder tie in the last round, having to overcome Atletico on penalties, and as you say, probably quite fortunate to get through that one. Arsenal having it easier, obviously getting it done and dusted in the early leg, early in the first leg, I should say. And they've been away from home a little bit hit and miss, Madrid. I think they've won 3 and lost 3 in this competition. The 3 wins come against decent sides, so Atlanta, Brest and City. Is that right? Real Madrid lost 3 of their home games. I'm confusing myself with my notes, to be honest. 3 of their away games. Did beat Atlanta, Brest and City and scored 3 in each of those 3 games as well. The thing that sticks in my mind is just Real Madrid's pedigree in this competition, and particularly at this stage of the competition. They haven't failed to get to a semi-final in the last 5 years. And as you know, like, I've just got little faith in Arsenal at the minute. Most of that was because lacking goals. Still lacking goals. Couldn't get more than 1 against Everton yesterday. But as you've mentioned there, defensive injuries starting to stack up now. And losing Gabriel is a massive blow for them. So I do like Madrid for the tie. I think they'll qualify over the 2 legs. But the prices here, and Madrid as underdogs, leaves you with no choice but to take something in this first leg away from home as well. I think I went for the draw no bet, 6-5, still a plus money price for Real Madrid to win in the draw no bet market. So get your money back if Arsenal do get another draw. But I did write down, I also like the team total for Real Madrid over 1.5 at 2-1. And realistically, I think if Madrid get 2, I'd be surprised if Arsenal can get a draw out of the game anyway, to be fair. So yeah, not the same pick. I'm going to go for 6-5 for the draw no bet Madrid. And I would certainly co-sign your Real Madrid team total at 2-1 as well.
Yeah, I think most people who are lurking in the chat seem to be leaning towards Madrid rather than Arsenal. Lee's made a great point that Arsenal fans think they get a rough deal in the Premier League. Fucking hell, try getting a decision against Real Madrid, like, because you've just got no chance. I mean, you've got zero chance. They're in the pockets, absolutely in the pockets of Real. So that is a very, very good point. The Arsenal fume when something terrible happens on Tuesday is going to be outstanding. We can all look forward to that. The other game on Tuesday at the same time is Bayern Munich taking on Inter Milan. Bayern Munich are slight odds on here, 19 to 20, minus 105. Munich are 13 to 5, plus 260. And Inter Milan are 27 to 10, plus 270. Barry.
This one looks
17 to 10. No, sorry. Right, yeah, I'm talking bollocks. Crack on.
Can I go? Yeah. It looks a good match, this one. And the books can barely split them in terms of betting on who qualifies. Inter have been impressive in this competition, lost just one of their 10 games and conceded only 2 goals in the process as well. The one defeat did come in Germany, though, where they lost 1-0 to Leverkusen. And Bayern probably represents a bit of a step up in calibre from the opponents they've faced earlier in this competition. Haven't really faced any of the big guns. Bayern themselves have had 3 defeats in the Champions League. Feyenoord, Borussia and Villa all beat Bayern. But all of those were away from home. The only slip-up at home for Bayern was the 1-1 draw against Celtic, which was enough to get them through in the knockouts. I'll be honest, my first thought coming to this one was Inter's price looks big. Getting close to 3 to 1 for Inter, for a team that doesn't concede many goals at all. It was a little bit tempting, but I just struggle to get there with Bayern's form at home. I think they've had the 2 draws in this competition at home and 1 defeat in the league. That's it in terms of their home form. 2 draws, 1 defeat. Everything else is wins. So it is hard, really, to get to Inter as a dog, though I did think they were a bigger price than I expected to see. I think Inter have got a right chance in the tie. I think they'll probably have to do it at home, though. Bayern won't want to be going to Italy without a lead, or they will be in big trouble. Bayern might win this first leg, but I'm going to take Inter to make life difficult. I think low scoring is the way to go here. Inter's strengths in the defence. And Bayern have had a few low scoring ones at home in this competition. They had a 1-1 at home to Celtic and a 1-0 win against Benfica and PSG at home earlier in it. So not always full of goals. Inter games as well, 7 of their 10 went under 2.5 goals. So I'm going to take under 2.5 between Bayern Munich and Inter at 10 to 11.
I've kind of found a way to fade Bayern most weeks when we've done the Champions League. I'm just not really sold on them. Like the 6 clear in Germany, but the form there is largely irrelevant. They cruised past Leverkusen final in the last round. They haven't faced much opposition in this. They did face a lot of the shite at the bottom of this league. And there are some red flag results. Celtic, you mentioned, Feyenoord, Villa. It's not a rock solid form line. I think what Inter have been doing is rock solid. They're 4 points clear in Serie A. They've only lost 3 of 31. They don't mind a draw away from home. 10 Champions League games, 8 clean sheets. I don't trust Bayern. I don't trust company. I'd much prefer to put my faith in Inter. The hard as nails, absolutely hard as nails. I like Inter to get out the tie at 19 to 20. But Inter double chance here. They might just get a 1-1 or something. But I much prefer Inter. I think Inter on the night's a good price, but the double chance at 4 to 5 will go slightly circumspect, minus 125. 2 more quarters to get to. Once I've told you about underdog pick'em, you can play any sport and win up to 100 times your money. Our code is PLGP to claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code PLGP. And finally, Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. MLB is now live on Rhythm. They've got models for NBA and golf as well. Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, is Barcelona v Borussia Dortmund. Barcelona are 2-5, -250. The draw 4-1. Dortmund are 13-2, +650. To make it out the tie, Barcelona are short, -400, 1-4. Jollies, 11-4, +275. Dortmund. Barca only drew 1-1 with Betis at the weekend, and that did halt a little run of 9 wins in a row domestically before that, scoring 30 goals across those 9 games. They beat Benfica 4-1 on aggregate in the last round with a 3-1 home win. Seems like a good comparison game to this. Seems like a good comparison tie to this. Dortmund have won the last 2 in the Bundesliga, but still a disappointing 8th place. They squeezed past Lille in the last round, but I just don't fancy them. I can't make an underdog case for them at all here. They did play each other in Dortmund in the league phase, which is helpful. Barcelona won that game 3-2. I'm going to take the Barcelona team total, Baz. Over 2.5 goals is even money. I think Barca can get 3 here, Baz.
I toyed with the same pick. I was very close to the same pick here. I think this one felt a little more straightforward. I'm really struggling to see Dortmund getting past Barcelona in this tie. Dortmund have been hugely inconsistent this season, hence why they're sitting down in 8th in the Bundesliga, I think. Certainly done well to get this far, beating Sporting and Lille in the knockout stages. And as you mentioned, the two did face each other in the group stage, Barca winning 3-2 at Dortmund in that one. Barcelona haven't lost a game since Christmas. It runs 22 games now unbeaten. And they've been pretty much faultless in this competition, other than the defeat on the first day. They lost to Monaco, having lost a player to, I can't remember who got red carded, but it was about 10 minutes into the game in that one. The only other blemish on their record was the draw against Atalanta. So they have been really, really hot in this competition. And at home in particular, goals all over the place. All 5 of the home games went over 2.5 goals. And 4 of the 5 went over 3.5. 17 goals Barcelona have scored in their 5 home games. So all leads into your pick there. Goals is where I've went as well. The head-to-head finished 3-2, so there's plenty there. So I've gone for the over 3.5. Slightly different. I need one of them to get one more than your top team total there. But the pick for me, Barcelona v Dortmund, is over 3.5 goals at 11-10.
Michael, our resident Barcelona fan. A bit of a homer pick, possibly, Michael. Barcelona by 5 clear goals is Michael's play. We like that. Next up, final game is Paris Saint-Germain and Aston Villa. PSG 2-5, -250. The draw is 15-4, +375. Aston Villa are 13-2, +650. Baz, quick pop quiz for you. What year were PSG founded?
Oh, God. 19... I feel like it's going to be not that long ago. I'm going to say 1962.
Oh, 1972, Baz. You were
Oh,
close.
I nearly went 72, honestly. I thought 70s, and then I thought that's a bit ridiculous. That's only 8 years before my birth. There must have been longer than that.
Yeah.
Not long,
right,
is it?
Okay, say things.
PSG, Aston Villa. 21 wins from 22 games is what I noticed for PSG. 21 out of 22. The 1-0 first leg defeat to Liverpool, which was very much a game they shouldn't have lost either. That's the only slip up on that record in that run. Now, obviously, a lot of that is domestic football, domestic French football. But even in this competition, 6 wins from the last 7 in the Champions League as well. Now, Villa also find themselves coming into form at the right time. 8 wins from the last 9 in all competitions. Though that does include, that's padded out a little bit with wins over likes of Preston and Cardiff, stuff like that. In this competition, I think Villa's best results definitely came at home. Wins over the likes of AC Milan and Bayern Munich, draw against Juventus. Some good stuff at home. Away from home, a bit more mixed. There were defeats there to Monaco and Bruges. I can't get away from what I saw in the PSG game over 2 legs against Liverpool, how good PSG looked. And I'm just not quite sure. I mean, I can't get my head around how PSG had to go all the way to penalties to get through that one. They should have been out of sight in the first leg, if not for a top display from Alisson. And I just think if they play anywhere near that level in this one, I could see them putting the game to bed early on in this first leg. I think prior to that Liverpool game, they'd won 5 Champions League games in a row and scored at least 3 times in each of them, including putting 4 past Man City, which, well, I would say it could be a good comparison, but City are probably worse than Villa at the moment. I like PSG here. At home, I think PSG will win, and I think they can win by 2 or more in this first leg. I'm going to take PSG on the handicap, -1.5 at 11-10.
Yeah, PSG did win the league at the weekend, but meant absolutely nothing. They could have lost the next 15 in a row and still won it. They were excellent against Liverpool in the last round. They started off really slowly in this competition. Only squeezed in to the knockout quite late on. But they were very good value for that win. Villa made 9 changes against Forest at the weekend, and they're doing okay. They comfortably beat Bruges in the last round. They've had a good win against Bayern in this competition. They've had a 0-0 against Juventus. But I don't think it's being churlish to say they've really not played anyone good apart from that. Hopefully, they can make it a good game. I don't want them to win. I'm sick of them now. It's fine. They've had a lovely time, but just that'll do. See you later. The overriding feeling for me, Baz, is exactly what you said, and it's the eye test, and it's that memory of watching PSG absolutely mangle Liverpool in that first game, murdered them. Could have been 4, 5, 6. Absolutely murdered them. I think they'll win, and I think they'll score goals. I've got PSG to win, and over 2.5 match goals is 5-6, -120. Villa might get one. PSG can be a bit ropey at the back, so 3-0 or 2-1, 3-1, something like that. PSG to win and over 2.5 match goals in that one. Right, what are you going to do now while I have to do 3 Europa League games? What are you going to do, Baz? Make a sandwich or?
I'm just going to go to bed.
Are you going to bed? Is that you off?
I'm done. No, I do have a Champions League goal scorer treble though that I'm going to put out first, and then I'm just going to listen to you and.
All right, okay.
I'll hang around. I'll keep you company for 5 minutes. That's fine. But yeah, I missed the message about the Europa League, and to be honest, I'm glad I did. But anyway, goal scorers. I'm going to go for Mbappe, Kvaratskhelia, and Rafinha, all to score in their respective ties. So Mbappe, Kvaratskhelia, and Rafinha, 15-1. The treble, anytime goal scorer for those 3.
That's a nice price, that, Baz. Very good. And I also enjoyed your pronunciation of Kvaratskhelia, or whatever you want to call it. Pete's joined us in the chat. Pete has gone cap in hand. We enjoyed our little A&T show last week. However, picks turned out to be a bit shite, but it's not a problem. We all have days like that. And Pete was back, I noticed, with more winners today. So, yeah. Cheers, Pete. Appreciate it. Do not worry about it in the slightest. Did you have a Grand National bet, Baz? We haven't mentioned this yet. I'd note the show pick, the name game, the Duffel Coat Dave was the first one out. Fell. Tipped up at the second. That was the end of that. I did laugh at that. Did you see that?
I noticed that. I noticed it was the first one to fall. I didn't have a proper bet. Me and Helen picked 4 each and said whoever does the best out of their 4 has to give the other one a tenner. So I won a tenner off Helen. That was as good as it got for me. I'll be honest. I'm a little bit underwhelmed by the Grand National the other day, or these days, I should say. It's just, where's all the carnage of the old days? You know what I mean? With them plodding along and refusing to jump fences and 10 fallers at the first. It's not enough carnage anymore, Malcolm. It's lost its edge.
You know what? I felt exactly the same, Baz. And because the Premier League felt a bit like that this weekend, everything felt a bit woke. It was all fucking. Me and Sean Dyche were furious about everything this weekend. I thought the Grand National just seemed a little bit like that. And then it suits the better horses now because it's less of a lottery. So you just tend to get the shorties winning. What's the point in Willie Mullins training the first 26 home? Like, it's just a waste of everyone's time. I had the third at 40-1, which, if it hadn't belted the last, would have won, I think. But anyway, not to worry. Right, Europa League. I'm going to do these quick, Baz, because you've refused to join in. They're all Thursday. They're all 8 o'clock. First up is Lyon taking on Manchester United. 6-4, Lyon plus 150, 9-4 the draw, and Manchester United 7-4 plus 175. Lyon are fourth in France, not in bad form. But I did notice the 6 games against the top 3, they've lost them all, home and away to the top 3. So if they come against a good team, they're in a little bit of shit. They pissed past Bucharest 7-1 in the last round. This Europa League form's really hard to analyse. Like, they've got a home draw against Ludogorets, a home defeat against Besiktas. It's just all a bit mental. Man United are unbeaten in this competition, which is astonishing. I could have sworn they got beat every week before Christmas. Turns out they didn't. They've won 6 of the last 7. The form of the win against Sociedad is okay. And I didn't think they were too bad today. Like I say, I'm not really convinced that Lyon are very good. So if everybody's sitting down and got a strong gusset on, my pick is going to be Manchester United. It's 7-4 plus 175. I think for the third time in 265 shows, we're throwing out Man United, yeah. And hopefully I must them and they get stuffed. And it's well worth a tenner of anybody's money. So
yeah, I mean, I'm going to jump in because I did briefly look at the Europa League, not knowing I was supposed to be making picks. And I am starting to get the fear a little bit that one of Man United or Spurs is going to go and win this competition and get themselves a Champions League spot, having been absolutely dog shit all season. What a travesty that would be. But it's getting closer to becoming a reality, isn't it?
It is, Baz, but there's a fly in the ointment here, and it's this next game. I'll tell you why. The next game is Rangers. This one's for Koisty. Koisty, where are you? Rangers taking on Athletic Bilbao. Rangers 2-1. The draw 5-2. Bilbao are 5-4 plus 125. Rangers beat Fenerbahce at home on penalties last time, having lost the match 2-0. I think you can make a form line for Rangers, quite a reliable form line, in that they lost 2-1 at Manchester United. They drew 1-1 with Tottenham. They lost 4-1 at home to Lyon, who I've just slagged off. And then that loss at home to Fenerbahce last time. And I think Bilbao were the best side left in this competition. Bilbao were the great white hope here to not let Man United or Tottenham win. They're fourth in La Liga, 5-4 for a good La Liga side to go and turn Rangers over. I think it's a great price. So I'll take Athletic Bilbao at 5-4 plus 125. And finally, Tottenham take on Eintracht Frankfurt. Tottenham 3-4 minus 133. The draw 3-1. And Frankfurt 31-10 plus 310. I can't take Tottenham. Nothing I saw today made me want to take Tottenham at this price. The 1-goal win against Southampton. Oh, sorry, no, it was 3-1, wasn't it? I obviously wrote that down. Yeah, so they scored late doors. I mean, drew the second half, effectively lost the second half until a 96-minute penalty. They're just too short to want to get involved at all. Frankfurt are the best of the rest in Germany after that sort of top level of Champions League teams. They haven't been in good form, but they have had a tough run of fixtures. Like I said, Europa League form is hard, but they're far too big to avoid a defeat here. It's a half-decent German side against a not great English side. Even money on the double chance for Frankfurt. Like, why would Tottenham run up a sequence of wins? Why would they? I just don't see it at all. So Frankfurt double chance is even money. Joe likes a Frankfurt team total. There you go. So yeah, happy with that, Baz. Are you delighted with my Europa League picks?
I don't mind it. I'm glad you've done it. Just it's nice of someone to make the effort.
It is nice someone to make the effort, yeah.
I assume you've got the Conference League covered as well, yeah?
The Conference League is... Well, I haven't even looked at it. Can you name any teams left in it apart from Chelsea?
Other than Chelsea, no. I would have taken
No.
a guess at Bodo Glimt, but obviously they're not because
No,
they're
they're in the Europa League, mate. They're in the other. They play
Yeah,
Lazio in the one game I didn't do.
I know.
Oh, with some absolute belters here, Baz. I could have done a true or false here. Right, I'm going to name 4 teams here, Baz. Yes or no? Are they still in the Conference League? Rapid Vienna.
They're still in it.
Correct. Jagiellonia Bialystok.
No, surely not.
They are still in it. They're they're absolutely still in it. So have a little bit of that.
Where are they from?
Bialystok is the answer. It's just it's a province of Jagiellonia. Maccabi Tel Aviv.
Yes.
They're not in it, Barry. I made that up. That was pretty impressive. And should we go? Shall I make one up or shall I go for it? Fiorentina.
Oh, I think Fiorentina might be in. Yeah.
You think I was that your answer?
In.
They are in it, Baz. 2-2. I beat you there with Jagiellonia Bialystok. I am delighted to welcome Tom Green, Iceman, into the chat. We very rarely see him, but he comments on our nearly always terrible YouTube videos on a daily basis. So hello, Tom. You've joined us just as we're absolutely padding out the last 3 minutes of the show.
I bet Tom always gives the thumbs up as well, which everybody in this chat currently hasn't done so because there aren't enough there. So make sure you do that before you leave.
Yes, Barry. Well done. Good knowledge. Right. Okay. I'm done now. I assume you'll be donating half of your fee to me for this show because I've done twice as much work as you. But do you have anything to tell the people about before you go? Vegetables, bread, anything like that?
I mean, at the same time, I had twice as many Premier League winners than you this weekend.
That's
so
not the point, Barry. It's a numbers game.
Getting paid for winners, I'd be taking half your salary away from you. But no, nothing else from me. No more walking for me this week. I still can't get over the trauma of seeing that rabbit savaged. And also, I'm also unfit as fuck, so I'll probably be walking around, hobbling around tomorrow because I've walked a few miles today.
I forgot to mention in other wildlife news, the aforementioned Premier League footballer, having sat and played blackjack with me for 2 hours, then climbed into a canoe and hand paddled his way out to the island to look for goose eggs. And that was that. I just thought, what have you? He said he found one the day before, so he was off to look for more goose eggs. And that was it. That was the last I seen of him. He was traipsing around there in his little canoe for ages. Funny times. Thanks, everyone. I enjoyed all of that. I think we've picked loads of winners, probably 7 for me and 4 for Barry. So that's exciting. I hope that's enough for you, Rob. Good luck with all your bets this week, everybody. We'll be back, I reckon, on Thursday. Until then, we will see you all down the road. Cheers.